Hello everybody and welcome to episode 6 of Hot Off The Terr. You know, we took a bye week last week due to, reading week. You know, we're students here. We're not that important. So also there was a tooth issue, not for me, but for the person behind the camera. So kind of couldn't do it last week, but we are back, and so it'll be a little bit of a longer episode as we recap what happened last week along with what happened this week. So last week, the Four Nations facing off concluded. A huge win for Canada as America now becomes the 11th province. And I just do want to point out the Kachucks are just probably the worst two people I've ever seen in my life, and that goes a long way. They somehow weaseled their way onto the New Heights podcast. I cannot wait for the Swifties to discover them. Wow. But in a nicer person to look at, Quinn Hughes had an entire saga for the final where he was in the lineup, then out of the lineup, then I think in the lineup again and out. I don't know what happened.
Not the lineup, but like he got called up or whatever.
On his way, and then he was seen practicing in Vancouver in a non-contact jersey, and Vancouver didn't let him go. Even though the coach already said he's on his way here, he was never on his way there.
So he lied. They were okay.
But even if he went, he wouldn't have been allowed to play.
Unless they like killed that Sanderson guy.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, so Quinn Hughes' whereabouts the entire time of the Four Nations was just up in the air. We were told he was on his way, but he was just chilling in Vancouver practicing. So that was just really funny to follow for like an hour long. It unfolded on Twitter, but even if he was on his way, he wouldn't have got to play unless they did something to Jake Sanderson. Poor guy must have looked at Twitter and saw like creative ways on how to get him injured. It was actually crazy. But the Ottawa Senators can't score unless it's internationally. They just hate Ottawa, I guess. I mean, moving on to motorsports, we got F1. The F1 75 event happened, and it was action packed. You know, Christian Horner and the FIA got booed, rightly so. Don't need to say too much on that. And all the cars, every time they did this grand reveal, looked the exact same as last year. It got to the point where the McLaren admin and like the F1 admin were posting the car on Instagram and Twitter, finding new ways to say that it's the same car. It's like, oh, don't fix what ain't broke and blah, blah, blah. It was just an awful event if you wanted to see new liveries, unless you're a Visa Cash App Racing Bulls fan, because they actually had a new livery, and probably one of the best. It was really nice, it was white. But it tells you how much we've been numbed down to the black liveries to the point where a white livery seems like really impressive for no reason. The Red Bull reveal though, I do want to mention that looked like the guest performance, and it was just actually really funny. We'll play the clip here, hopefully. And other than that, I do want to say Jack Whitehall was brilliant the entire night. Managed to make it really entertaining for an event that seemed like it was going to be a bit boring. But you know, good on the guy. He's hit or miss, but he hit there. Moving on to football, Real Madrid put belt to arse on Manchester City, and in return we got this great video of picture of Mbappe celebrating a goal, which is just an all-timer if he would have used his thumb. He used his pointer finger. If he would have used his thumb, it would have been an all-timer. But speaking of all-timers, Newcastle and Nottingham Forest, for some reason, put on an all-timer in a 4-3 game just on a random day, which was actually really entertaining to watch. I was getting the football notifications and just saw, oh, Newcastle goal, Forest, and it was... I tuned in for the last 10 minutes. I was excited to see what was happening. But speaking of Newcastle, they weren't the only ones to do something really great. As Sam Fender dropped an album, probably album of the year. If I'm an artist and I have just heard his album, I wouldn't bother putting out music this year. That's how good it was. Like, you have no shot of getting an album of the year over him, especially in the British scene. The Americans will overlook him probably, as they always do. But unreal album, had to mention it. The GOAT right now. But that is all that I have for last week. But we're going to move on to this week, as there's been quite a few things that happened around those sports that I've mentioned, as Manchester United are back in the news once again, as they are to close off their staff canteen and instead offer employees a free piece of fruit as part of more cost-cutting measures at the club. Now, this is a club who are willingly paying Casemiro, and everyone else has to suffer because of it. It's comical, but it doesn't stop there, as lunch at Manchester United's Carrington training ground has apparently been reduced to soup and sandwiches for everyone apart from the first team players, and that includes coaches and analysts. It's abysmal. Well, I don't even know what's happening over there, but Man United have way too many problems. It's just funny to me at this point. They have way too many problems, but they'll probably weasel their way into an FA Cup win this year. Moving back onto F1, testing has started, and the field looks exactly as you think it would, but it's testing. Not going to get ahead of myself. Everyone knows that testing doesn't matter. People sandbag, you know, it's a whole thing. But in testing, we got a really funny clip where debates over Liam Lawson being a rookie had people talking, because, you know, it's not his first full season. And especially the broadcasters, because they also have a non-rookie of their own, which was really funny. We'll play the clip now for you.
Reese, hello. Good morning, Reese Bithell, who says, if Lawson is a rookie, then so's Karun Chandok. Both have 11 races, both never completed a full season. Time for a comeback, Karun Chandok. You can still be rookie of the season. Oh, dude, that's made me laugh.
Brilliant. Oh, that.
But there's also another clip of F1 rookies like running to Verstappen, like their little baby dogs, and it was just really funny, because I don't know what the context was of it, or what they were even trying to talk to him about, but it was just so funny to look at. Moving on to hockey though. In a historic achievement, the MTSU Blue Raiders have triumphed in the CHS tournament, marking a significant milestone in the program's journey. Now, as they entered the tournament nationally ranked 7th in the latest My Hockey rankings, Middle Tennessee State University now stands proudly as the pinnacle of college hockey in the South, with the national tournament scheduled to unfold in Jacksonville, Florida from March 18th to the 23rd. Now you're wondering, why the hell am I mentioning this? I got a couple friends down there, so, you know, had to let them know. I watched the game, real supportive. But in the game, was a really funny part of it was, I think in one of the intermissions, the Zamboni got stuck on the ice. Like, I think it ran out of gas. So in the time that it was on the ice and them getting it off the ice, it had melted a hole into the ice, which led to like an 1.5 to 2 hour delay. And it was just really comical to see, because I think MTSU were up like 3-0 at the time, and it was like the game's kind of put away. But anyways, it was a great viewing experience, and, you know, wishing the best of luck. Moving on to the NBA now. The All-Star weekend was just last week. There was no effort in any of it, like from start to finish. At this point, just scrap the All-Star competition, like all of them, because the players don't want to be there. You're wheeling out G Leaguers for it because the players don't want to be there. It's just give them that week off, give them a break, let them go to Cancun, let them do what they want to do, because they're wheeling out Mac McClung like a circus animal every year. I mean, good for him though, he's getting paid, but I as a viewer, and a lot of people, don't want to sit there and watch G League players in the NBA All-Star contest, because they have their own All-Star contest, I'm pretty sure. Like, it's, whatever. But after the dunk contest and Mac McClung three-peats before the Chiefs, the yearly routine of the All-Stars pretending like they actually want to participate in the dunk contest comes out with it. You know, they send out a couple of tweets of like, "Hey guys, should we do this?" Haha. And then next year when they actually get asked to do it, they're like, "Nah." Like it's a stupid routine every year. They either need to change up the format of the entire weekend. I mean, Four Nations face a huge hit. Like, but international basketball isn't as, I guess, feisty as international hockey because there was different complications and implications with that. But either change up the format or just scrap it altogether, because we don't just name them All-Stars and just go on with your day. Like you don't kind of need this. But yeah, that's all I have to say on it. They didn't give any effort on it. I'm not going to give too much effort on it. You know, relationships go both ways. Remember that. Fuck's sake. Moving on to the MLB now. Spring training has started and everybody. That is all the time we have for today. I'm Austin Terry as always. Hope you enjoyed this 2-week catch-up of Hot Off The Terr. And look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. And by that I mean next week. Bye! Please, 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 please like and subscribe. Please, I need this. Money's running low. Please, 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 please.